By the time this video ends, you will know that UFOs are not science fiction. They are government-documented facts, classified files locked away for decades, radar signatures no technology could explain, fighter pilots who risked their careers to tell the truth. This video brings together the most verified, most suppressed UFO records in history all in one place, for the first time. In July 1952, multiple, unidentified objects appeared simultaneously over Washington, D.C. They showed up on Air Force radar. Control tower operators saw them with their own eyes. Headlines read flying saucers over the Capitol. Fighter jets were scrambled, but the moment the jets approached, the objects vanished. The moment the jets pulled back, they returned. The United States Air Force has never officially explained what happened that night. Today we examine 7 UFO encounters that were documented by governments and militaries, and never explained. Number 7, 1947 at Arnold and the birth of the term flying saucer. On June 24, 1947, civilian pilot Kenneth Arnold was flying near Mount Rainier in Washington state when he spotted 9 bright objects flying in formation. Their speed exceeded that of the fastest military jets of the era by more than double. After landing, Arnold told reporters the objects moved like saucers, skipping across water. That description gave birth to the term flying saucer, a phrase that would define the next century of human imagination. The Army Air Forces launched an investigation and quietly closed it without conclusion. Arnold went to his grave not knowing what he had seen. The world in 1947 was barely 2 years removed from the devastation of World War II. Fear of the unknown sky had never been greater. Number 6, 1952, the Washington, D.C. UFO invasion. The incident referenced in the opening was not a single event. It happened on 2 consecutive weekends, July 19th and July 26th, 1952. Objects tracked on radar moved at thousands of miles per hour, then stopped instantly. No aircraft technology of that era, or any era since, can perform that maneuver. F-94 interceptors were scrambled both nights. Each time fighters approached, the objects accelerated beyond visual range. President Harry Truman personally demanded an explanation. The Air Force officially attributed the radar returns to temperature inversions. However, that explanation does not account for the simultaneous visual confirmation from control tower personnel and fighter pilots. That part of the record has never been addressed. Number 5, 1957, the Trindade Island photographs, Brazil. In January 1957, the Brazilian Navy vessel Almirante Saldanha was conducting oceanographic research near the remote Trindade Island in the South Atlantic. On board was civilian photographer Almiro Barana, who captured a series of photographs of a disc-shaped object with a Saturn-like ring circling its equator. The film was developed immediately on board, in front of dozens of naval officers who served as witnesses. The Brazilian Navy officially authenticated the photographs. President Juscelino Kubitschek personally authorized their public release. What makes this case uniquely significant is that it was not the testimony of a single witness. It was a set of photographs officially certified by a military institution. Decades later, no credible evidence of forgery has ever been produced. Number 4, 1967, Malmstrom Air Force Base, nuclear missiles disabled. This is one of the most alarming cases in the entire history of UFO documentation. On the morning of March 16, 1967, Captain Robert Salas was on duty at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana when a security guard reported a glowing, oval-shaped object hovering over the front gate. Within minutes, 10 nuclear missiles and the underground launch facility went offline simultaneously, all rendered incapable of launch. No mechanical failure, no external attack. No known phenomenon could account for what happened. A nearly identical incident occurred the same week at another launch facility on the same base. The case remained classified for decades, until Salas testified before Congress after retiring. Whatever disabled those missiles has never been officially identified. Number 3, 1980, the Rendlesham Forest Incident, Britain's Roswell. In the early hours of December 26, 1980, security personnel at 2 adjacent U.S. Air Force bases in Suffolk, England, Bentwaters, and Woodbridge observed strange lights in the nearby Rendlesham Forest. Several airmen entered the forest and found a triangular metallic craft resting between the trees. Its surface bore markings resembling hieroglyphs. When approached, the craft ascended rapidly and disappeared. 2 nights later, Deputy Base Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, went to the site himself, with a tape recorder and measured landing impressions and elevated radiation readings. That recording was later made public. Halt continued to speak openly about the incident for the rest of his life. The British Ministry of Defence declassified its files in 2009. The conclusion section remained blank. Number 2, 2004, USS Nimitz UFO encounter. In November 2004, the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group was conducting training exercises off the coast of Southern California. For several days, the guided missile cruiser, USS Princeton, had been tracking anomalous objects on radar, descending from altitudes of 80,000 feet to near sea level in seconds. On November 14, two FA-18 Super Hornets were directed to intercept. Commander David Fravor reported a white, tic-tac-shaped object, approximately 40 feet long, no wings, no exhaust plume, maneuvering at speeds no known aircraft could match before disappearing instantly. In 2017, the U.S. Department of Defense officially declassified and released the cockpit footage. Fravor later testified before Congress. His exact words: "It was not from this world." The Pentagon has yet to provide an official explanation. Number 1, 2023 U.S. Congressional hearing, non-human intelligence confirmed under oath. On July 26, 2023, history was made in the chambers of the U.S. House Oversight Committee. Former intelligence officer David Grush took an oath and testified that the United States government has been secretly retrieving and reverse engineering craft of non-human origin for decades. He further stated that biological material of non-human origin has been recovered alongside those craft. Navy pilots Ryan Graves and David Fravor testified alongside him. Graves stated that unidentified aerial phenomenon encounters during training missions were routine among pilots, widely known, but impossible to report due to the absence of official reporting channels. This hearing was broadcast live around the world. For the first time in recorded history, a national legislative body officially entertained the possibility of non-human intelligence in open session. What had been forbidden knowledge for 76 years became, in 2023, part of the congressional record. From number 7 to number 1, we have walked through 7 UFO encounters that governments and militaries documented and could not explain. From the birth of the term flying saucer in 1947 to the congressional testimony of 2023, 76 years passed. In that time, witnesses were silenced, records were sealed, and questions were forbidden. Now the seals are beginning to break. I leave you with one question: do you believe humanity is alone in this universe, or has something been watching us for far longer than we know? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.